There's a new M6 in town, but not the BMW M6, a BYD M6. It's now launched here in Malaysia, and here are 5 reasons why you might want to consider this as your next family road trip machine. And number 1 is of course because of its body style, because this here is a fully electric MPV and it's available as a 7-seater, so you can bring your entire family on your road trip. But just how spacious is it inside? Now here in the second row seats, you do actually get a lot of space, especially in terms of your knee room, and leg room is also very nice because of its relatively flat floor. Now of course, this being an MPV means you can also move the seats in front if you want to give your third row passengers a little bit more space. And in terms of creature comfort, you do get separate buttons over here for your blower settings, as well as 2 USB charging ports, one Type A and one Type C. And I just want to point out just how soft these seats actually feel like, and the seat backs here are actually very nicely reclined, so sitting on here for long journeys, I don't think it will be an issue at all. And to get into the third row, all you have to do is to lift this flap on the sides here and push the seats forward, and then you can just climb in as gracefully as you can. Now in terms of space at the back here, this is basically in the most rearward position, and I basically have zero knee room. But of course, sitting in the third row seats in an MPV of this size really depends on how nice your passengers in front are. Now these seats are actually still quite comfortable, especially when you lift up the headrest, and it also has a little bit of recline action going on over here, just like that. Now in terms of creature comfort, you also get additional blowers at the side and just some cup holders on these plastic moldings. Now even with the third row seats in its upright position, you still have a little bit of space back here to put your luggage. Now BYD says this is about 180 litres, and by testing, I think you can just about fit one medium-sized luggage and a couple of small sacks at the side. But of course, both rows of these rear seats can actually be folded down flat to expand it up to nearly 1000 litres of space to bring everything you need in there in case you want to go on an IKEA trip. Now you might also want to consider this because of its looks, because for me, I think it actually looks pretty handsome, and I think a lot of that is down to the new front fascia, which BYD calls the classic dragon face. That includes this new silver trim in between the new slicker headlights, as well as this newly designed bumper. And when you pair it to the new 17-inch wheel design, as well as the full-width taillights at the back, I think this whole car just looks a lot more sleeker and a lot more handsome than the taxi-looking E6. The M6 has also gotten an updated interior that is now using this sort of open pore wood-like trim on the dashboard, which actually makes this interior look a lot more upmarket. But for some reason, this here is still glossy black plastic. Also new here is this 12.8-inch touchscreen infotainment display in the center here, and like the Seal, like the Atto, and like the Dolphin, this here can also be rotated, and if anything, it's just a fun little gimmick to show your friends. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity as standard, but BYD will also sell you an optional karaoke mic accessory, so you can actually sing karaoke right in your car with lyrics displayed right here on the screen. As for standard equipment, you get automatic climate control as standard across both variants with a separate rear blower setting, a 360-degree surround view monitor, synthetic leather upholstery, as well as V2L functionality. Step up to the extended range and you'll get powered front seats in front here with seat ventilation function, a 15 watts wireless charger, a panoramic glass roof with powered sunshades, powered tailgate, and a suite of ADAS systems. As part of the update to the M6, you also now get a new center console design, which you can see from this pretty cool looking gear shift lever. But for some reason, they've decided to keep this analog instrument cluster on here, which just kind of looks a little bit out of place on an EV these days, don't you think? The BYD M6 is available in 2 powertrain options. Starting with the standard variant, you get a single motor on the front axle, making 163 horsepower and 310 Nm of torque. Now the motor is paired to a 55.4 kWh battery pack, which should be enough to translate to a 420 km range on the more lenient NEDC test cycle. In real life though, I'd expect around 300 km on this thing. Now the range topping variant is called the extended range because it gets a larger battery at 71.8 kWh. Now that translates to a NEDC range of 530, but expect around 400 km of real world range. Now, even though it's still a front motor, it actually does get a little bit of extra performance on the extended range variant. 204 horsepower and 310 Newton meters of torque, which means it'll go to 100 kilometers per hour from a standstill a little bit quicker than the standard variant as well, at 8.6 seconds compared to 10.1 on the standard variant. As for charging, both variants come with a 7 kilowatt AC charger. DC charging support is up to 89 kilowatts max on the standard variant and 115 kilowatts on the extended range. And on that, 10 to 80% takes around 40 minutes. And number 5 is of course the price, because unlike the BMW, this M6 will only set you back 110,000 ringgit for the standard variant and 124,000 ringgit for the extended range variant. And included in price is also a 6-year or 150,000 kilometers standard vehicle warranty, an 8-year or 160,000 kilometers battery warranty, as well as an 8-year or 150,000 kilometers drive system warranty. Now, what do you think of this M6? Let us know in the comments below, and if you need more information, do log on to AutoBuzz.my.